Okay, I'm gonna paint my rocket a shiny yellow, and I have my paint and all the things I'm gonna use to paint this rocket yellow, including the mixing cup. This is my paint thinner. We're not allowed to have paint thinner in California, so I have to buy this special bottle. I use a pipette to pull the paint thinner out and mix the paint and the thinner. I'll get to that in a minute. I have my airbrush hooked up and ready to go, and it's clean. I set mine to 25 psi, and I'm wearing clothes I don't care about. In fact, this is a jacket I'll end up wiping my hands on because it's good to have a rag next to you to wipe your hands if you need to wipe your hands, and if it's clothes you don't care about, it doubles nicely. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is mix the paint. So the first thing I like to do is shake up my pot of paint. Just shake it up nice and good. Yeah, we're rolling. Okay. And once we've got it shook up nice and good, I'm going to pour the whole thing into my mixing cup. I'm just going to very carefully pour the whole thing and then let it sit there for a while. And I've done this enough times that usually about, well, in my mixing cup, it's about 12 or 13 milliliters. And when you have 12 or 13 milliliters of paint, you want about four or five, maybe 5 milliliters of thinner. So that's when I'm going to take my pipette and pull out. Well, I don't trust the pipette. I just like to use the same measuring cup that I poured the paint into. So I know it's about 12 or 13, and I know I want to put about 4. I'm probably going to put 5 in this because it's shiny paint. Shiny paint needs more thinner for some reason. So I'm going to put thinner in here until it's at about 18. You know, because it's 3-to-1, and I have about 12, and it's shiny paint, so at least 4. So I'm looking for about 16. And better to not have enough than too much thinner. If you thin it too much, you already used all your paint, so it's hard to thicken it. So I'm going to call that good enough and see if that's good enough. Okay, then we have to stir the paint. And my favorite tool is the same tool that we use when we use the airbrush to disassemble. I like to use the tiny little Allen wrench. I don't know why. It's just works nicely. So I just sort of stir it up, and then I run some down the side just to kind of get a good idea of how thick or thin it is. And this looks plenty thin. I've heard it's supposed to kind of roll down like milk, but there's different thicknesses in milk, so I don't know how helpful that is. Okay, so now we've mixed it up. Now it's time. I'm gonna assume your paintbrush is clean. It needs to be clean, and I'll go through how to clean it at the end of this video. But then I take a little bit of the paint, not all of it. I just put in, maybe like fill it up half, maybe half. Boy, that looks thin. Yep, you know what? This looks so thin. I'm gonna show you a little trick. I think this is too watery, and if you think it's too watery, you can use the original pot and just pour some of the stuff that was thin back in there. Okay. Put the cap back on and just shake, 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 because whatever didn't come out of the pot is still in there. So it'll thicken it just a hair. Okay, So that's all you can do. There's no other trick. So now whatever it is whatever it is. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try this. It actually does look better. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay. And you just got to keep your fingertips as clean as possible if you can help it, because we are probably going to have to touch the model. Oh, that's right. I'm lucky I have this little holding. I can hold it here. Okay, and then, oh, sorry. No, don't just start shooting spray paint at your model. Find a place that you can shoot the spray paint. And I have a cardboard box, a white cardboard box down here, and so I'll just shoot it until paint starts coming out. And you know what? I'm gonna move the camera so you can kind of see this. Take my brush. Okay, I'm not getting anything coming out, so I'm gonna open it up a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Open it up a bit more. Okay, so now I'm getting paint coming out. I'm just checking to make sure that it's not like super clumpy. And it's more or less painting evenly. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll try that. I like that little clip. Hopefully you have a clip too. And now, let's see. Okay, yeah, it's going. And I'm just trying not to overspray it, but also make sure I cover everything. So just little shakes. If it's too thick, you can always thin it. You would know it's thick if it's like coming out with little dots. It also could mean that the paintbrush or the airbrush is not clean, in which case you just, well, that's kind of the worst case. That means you'd have to stop, put your paint back in the pot, take apart your airbrush, put all the little pieces in acetone, stuff I'll go over with you here in a minute. Yeah, I shouldn't have done this at night, but there's just no time. It's going on. Yeah, it's going on. We're doing okay. Looks good. Yeah, we still got paint coming, nice and easy. Looks good. Okay. So I'm gonna call this thing painted. Okay, now. Let's do the cleanup. Phew! Okay, there we go. Ugh. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do my cleanup now, and it's really important. This is like a really important part. Most of painting actually isn't painting. It's actually preparing and cleanup. If you're painting like 1/3 of the time, the other 2/3 is setup and cleanup. Okay, the cleanup. First thing we're gonna do, take the pot off your airbrush, pour it back into wherever the bowl is. Let's see, I've got most of my paint in the mixing cup. And then I'm going to pour my paint back into the pot, from the mixing cup into the pot, because it's got that screw cap. Now this is mixed paint, and I'll just set it somewhere and put an M on it with a permanent marker so I know it's already mixed. So if I have another model that uses that color, I'll know not to worry about mixing it with paint thinner. Okay. Just put the tools away that you're done with. Okay, this I'll just throw it away. I would just throw away the mixing cup if I have a bunch of them. If not, you clean them. I have enough that I can just throw it away. All right, we don't need this tape here. This is trash. Okay, so, all right, good enough. Then I'm gonna take, let's just dump that. Okay, I'm gonna take like a dish or a bowl or something like this. I have a plastic bowl. And what I'm gonna do is disassemble the airbrush. I used my little hex key, unscrew the screw at the bottom, and dump the screw in there. Also, I would dump the tool in there as well. Then I unscrew the needle. Now it's 1, 2 parts, and then the spray cup. Also, you can shut off your airbrush pump now and release the air out of the bottom. Don't forget, shut it off and release the air. I seized my pump once when I left it on, and it just kept refilling with air forever, and I had to pay a bunch of money to have it fixed. Okay, now once all your parts are in there, this is not smart. Once you're done painting, I would just get away from this thing. But it's all right. We're gonna just go with this. Okay, acetone. And we're just gonna swish it all around. Be careful if you have any cuts on your fingers, it'll really burn. But yeah, just acetone like this, swish, swish, swish. Okay, and once we've done enough swishing, I pull them out and let them dry. Like that. Don't get this acetone stuff on any of your model parts. It will melt your plastic. It devastates models. So this is a really good example of what not to do. Do not clean your airbrush around your model ever, ever. Sad things can happen. Okay, once you're done doing that, you can reassemble the airbrush and shoot some clean acetone through it, and that will finalize the cleaning. So I'm just putting the pin back together. Okay, then I take my hex key and nut. Okay, and I put my pot back, airbrush pot attaches. Then I get a little bit of not paint thinner, acetone. You want to use acetone when you clean your airbrush. Turn your pump back on and just blow a pot through it. Till it's gone. Okay. Okay, it's gone. And then I just leave it together and hang it back up. Shut my pump off, release the air. And that's it. Clean up, do whatever you gotta do, and let the thing dry for usually 24 hours.